Welcome back to Spike Power-Driver and Local to Global 1992. It's episode 26, I think, in November of 1996. Welcome back to the channel. Total Extreme Wrestling 9, by the way. We're doing a Local to Global save where we're taking a completely new promotion, well, it was 5 years ago, all the way from the smallest in the game to the biggest, and we'll see how far we go. We're currently ranked 17th. If you're enjoying the series, make sure you are subscribed, like the video, share it with your friends, check out the Patreon link as well. And if you didn't see it earlier in the week, or maybe last week, I can't really work out when this is going to go out, I put a post on the community page asking for you to send me your save game so I can book your next show for a new series that's going to be coming out on the channel soon. I've already received a couple of saves, so any further ones that you want to send in, please do so, and I'll do my best not to completely mess up everything you've been working towards. But they will be coming out soon. In the meantime, let's go into Local to Global. And as I said, it's November 1996, and after the last episode where... that some people are leaving that we don't want to leave. Namely, The Rock, Joe Kazana, and Rey Mysterio are all going within the next 4 weeks, which is sad. Because Joe Kazana, for example, is the cult hero of this save. So, I don't really know what to do. And he's also, currently, our tag team champion with Tommy Dreamer. So we're going to have to fix that in the first part of this episode, because we've got TV tapings coming up, which is 4 episodes of Unleashed back to back to back to back to back to back. I think that's too many tobacks, isn't it? And that's an extra one. But yes, so we've got to figure out how we're going to sort out the tag team championship situation. Obviously, the Suicide Blondes of Adam Impact and Christian Cage did win a #1 contenders match, all the way back at Collision Course, actually, back in October. So that needs to happen. So they may become our next tag team champions. But we'll get to that as we go through the TV taping. First up, we've got our World Heavyweight Champion, which is Raven. He's held the title now for 403 days. Terry Funk did win the King of Combat, even though we forgot to award it to him, so we're going to award it to him in an angle on the TV show. So he's earned himself a title match, and I believe he wants to cash it in straight away at Clash of the Titans at the beginning of December. So we've got that to figure out. Obviously mentioned our World Tag Team Championship situation. TV title is currently held by The Kid. He beat Perry Saturn back in October and has held the title hostage a little bit. So this was the championship that was defended every single week on our TV show Unleashed. But since The Kid has become champion, he's not defended it once. Partially because we were booking qualifying matches for the King of Combat all through the last taping block, and partially just because we wanted to change up the gimmick a little bit. We've also introduced our Junior Heavyweight Championship, which is currently held by Super Crazy. Everyone else in the previous title history was when it was a RCW, River City Wrestling in Canada championship, so ignore these people if you don't know who, well, two of them. There's only been 2 champions in the past before Super Crazy won it, and they just passed it between themselves for 2 years, so good for them. Well, no, 3 years. Regardless, we're going to introduce more people to our junior heavyweight division, because I think we've only got 3 wrestlers signed currently, so we've signed a few more, and we're going to start doing stuff as we go through. Right, we've got our Unleashed taping to do tomorrow night. This is just a bit of an intro. We'll jump forward in a second to get to Unleashed. Finance-wise, I think we've already covered the end of October in the last video. We have made a load of money so far, 73,000 on ticket sales just from the one show. King of Combat. We did talk about production as well in some comments and in the last video. So our broadcast quality upgrade will be 60 to 70k extra a month, which is just ridiculous. Music-wise, it's not too bad actually. It's only 15 grand extra. So it might be something. In fact, let's just do it. There we go. We've just done it. That gets rid of another production penalty. It's now 25 grand a month rather than 10, which is a little bit ridiculous. So it's only one area now, the industry standard for broadcast quality that GWF are for some reason paying for, that is stopping us from getting no penalties. So that's a lot of money we're spending on production. Finance-wise now, obviously, we've just spent that little bit of an upgrade here, and it's going to basically keep ticking down constantly and spending more and more money on production. But to make money, you got to spend money, apparently. Looking at our size situation, we're at 52 in the southeast, 41 in the tri-state. We will be up to medium as soon as we get this southeast level up to 59, which is going sort of 1 or 2 a month, depending on how good our shows are. You can kind of see it goes 2 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1. So hopefully we'll be up to 53 by the end of this month, and sort of when our TV deals expire in March and like April next year, we'll be in a position to get to bigger broadcasters because we'll be medium. And I've got my eye on one of them. I think if we quickly look where... no, these are the ones who will negotiate. We don't want that. If we just quickly search, I think it was A&E. Yeah, so we get our popularity up to 40 in 3 regions, and then we can get big coverage, which is just ridiculous. But that's only in the US, so then we have to figure out a Canadian situation as well. We'll figure out broadcasting. We've got our broadcasting deals for PBS run out in March, for syndication runs out in end of April. So we've got some time to figure out how to essentially plug the gap and get some better non-public networks so we can actually start making some revenue from our TV shows and events. But that's more to come. We'll go forward now and do the Unleashed taping, and you can see that in a second. Okay then, ready to book episode 89 of Unleashed. And it's important to note, by the way, that Rey Mysterio, I forgot to mention earlier, where this contract is ending on the 2nd of December, he's also got himself injured, and so he'll also be injured until the 2nd of December. So he's trying to avoid doing the job, but we're still going to make him wrestle even with his swollen calf muscle. So his matches might not be as good as they otherwise would have been, but we're still going to put him through the ringer. Right, let's go through the first episode and show you what we've got in store. And we start the show out with a promo from the junior heavyweight champion, Super Crazy. We're at Centre Stage Theatre, by the way, in Atlanta. And he tells the fans that he's proud to be champion, but the division needs to grow. So tonight we will begin an 8-man tournament with some of the best lucha and junior talent in the world. And Super Crazy does a real good job here. Gets a 50 rating for his promo, and we start things out with the debuting Taka Michinoku defeating Juventud Guerrera with a Michinoku driver in just under 10 minutes. Crowd weren't really into it, but the wrestling was pretty good. Taka gets a 42 to Juve's 30, and this is with no popularity for either man really in the US. Gets a 43 for the match rating, so this is only going to help Taka get over, because he's very good in the ring, clearly. At like 2 or 3 popularity points in the US, he's getting a 42 in-ring performance. So he's special, I think is what you can say there. When he's over, he'll be getting 70s and 80s, I reckon. That's a good start for this tournament. And, this is the tag team curse is back. The Suicide Blondes defeat the people's favourite tag team when Christian Cage pins traitor Joe Kazana with an impaler. Suicide Blondes win the tag team titles, but Adam Impact sustains a ruptured spleen. Not quite sure how long that's going to be out for, but wonderful. This is going to be a drop in quality for our tag team division, but Joe Kazana's 59, which we will miss, is a lot better than Christian Cage's 31, which we won't miss. 44 for the overall match rating. Let's see how long Edge is out for with his ruptured spleen. We then get a promo from the Kid, and he did not do very well without a script to follow. He declares that he's the best TV champion ever because he doesn't disrespect the title by defending it against losers every week and padding his record. But he will defeat a loser tonight and pad his record against former TV champion Rey Mysterio. So nice bit of contradictory speech there from the Kid. 47 for the angle, and gets a 79 out of the match. Ray was slowed by his injury and still gets an 81 for his in-ring performance. But the Kid makes his first defense of the TV title by defeating Rey Mysterio with a super kick. And his in-ring performance of 53 isn't that great, but compared to Ray's 81. Yeah, it still gets a 79 match rating though, so that can't be complained about. And then we close the show with Terry Funk being officially handed his King of Combat trophy. Raven attacked him from behind though, as you probably would expect. He lays him out with a steel chair, drops him with an even flow DDT, and then busts him wide open with the world title. Raven stands tall over the bloody Funk, with the glorious trophy thrown down on the ground. Terry Funk wins the King of Combat because we forgot to award it to him in the Battle Royal at the last show. But a segment rating of 86 for Raven brutalising Funk. Nicely done. Overall rating of 69. Show appeared worse because our broadcast quality. Yeah, great, wonderful. Everything else is fine. Up to 69 though for the show rating, which is definitely a boost. Popularity up in 11 regions. Nicely done there. Right, second show of the night. No incidents to note beforehand. We will go through for episode number 2 of the night. You'll notice we've got some of the junior heavyweight title tournament being booked for shows that aren't yet here, 93 to 96, so don't worry about those. Right, let's figure out who we're going to put in our main event tonight. It's probably going to have to be Rey Mysterio, isn't it? Let's be fair. even though we've got the clash between Ray. Sorry, don't care. He's furious with the booking, but he's leaving, so he's got no right to be furious. I forgot to put the angle at the end, so I'm going to have to put that on last. And then so we're going to close out with another Raven and Funk angle and start the show there. That should be... No, that's the wrong button. That should be everything we need to satisfy our booking requirements. It is. So let's move forward. We start out with 2 debuts, Flamante Turbo and Shiryu, who is Kaz Hayashi under a mask. And Turbo gets the victory. It was a poor match, essentially. 17 for Turbo, 37 for Kaz Hayashi. A little bit disappointing. Turbo was rusty, but once he's got a few matches under a belt, he'll be better. Crowd were not into it in the slight. This is the problem with introducing a new division. Nobody's over. Gets a 33 rating, which is obviously a little bit disappointing compared to some of the other rating. Well, compared to the first rating we had for the Taka match, but we'll build on it. Turbo gets the victory though with no move whatsoever. Moving on, Tommy Dreamer is saddened by losing the tag team titles, but he has a lot of respect for Joe Kazana, which is why he is wrestling against his partner tonight to see who is the better man. Mainly because, Joe's leaving. Gets a 54. I nearly turned Kazana heel, but I thought, no, let's let him go out with some dignity. But he is losing. So Tommy Dreamer wins with a Tommy Hawk, gets a 57 for the match, puts in a nice 53 performance, and any last bit of popularity that Kazana's got shall be being taken away from him. So, sorry, not sorry. Tommy gets the victory and moves on. Angus King is angry tonight. He's fed up of smaller, weaker men getting all the opportunities. So he's going to wipe out the smallest, weakest man he can find in Rey Mysterio. King is a monster, and he will prove it tonight. And he struggled when going off script and got a 49. The match, though, gets a 77, so not too bad whatsoever. Ray slowed by his injury once again. Angus King wins with a chokeslam, despite his in-ring performance being 46. I didn't really know who to put over Ray, to be honest, so we just put Kane. So why not? Raven laughs about his attack on Terry Funk last week. He calls for the old man to hang up his boots for the final time and call time on his pathetic excuse for a career. Wrestling and Raven have passed him by. Quote the Raven nevermore. 92 for his segment. Lovely stuff from Raven, and keeps the show rating up to a 70. That's even better than the last one, and this was not as good a show, I don't think, overall. But again, 11 regions up in the popularity. No incidents to note, and we are in to show number 3, which will be headlined by Steven Regal, I think. Yes. Hang on, no. We need to put in our Terry Funk Raven angle at the end, and then we'll have the Steven Regal match, because I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but we're going for it anyway. We have also got Tommy Dreamer against The Rock, and Angel Azteca against the debuting Negro Azteca in an Aztec warfare match. It's not what it is actually, but we'll go with it. Steven Regal is going to be in the main event. I'm not sure how that's going to fare because he's not very over in the US, but we'll go for it. We've got a great angle that's guaranteed like an 80 or a 90 to close out the show, so we'll try it. We start things out with a pretty decent, actually, match. Angel Azteca with the 47 in-ring performance, but it's Negro Azteca who gets the victory with a La Danosaurria. A 42 rating for the match. Again, another match was part of the Contenders Tournament. A new Rudo is here, and he's a little bit rusty. He gets 23 for his in-ring performance. So of the people debuting so far, it's Taka that's any good. Angel Azteca is, well, we know he's good, but he's lost to his namesake Negro. 42, okay start to the show actually. We then get a promo. Flex Cavana's too good for your eyes, that's why he's leaving for WCW. The SPW fans can go screw themselves. This brings out man of the people Tommy Dreamer, who defends the fans and wants to fight Flex right now. Flex looked good, well excellent. Tommy underperformed and struggled with that script, but it still got a 68, so that's fine. And then Tommy beat him, as you'd expect. Although Flex Cavana's in-ring performance is now up to 50, which is just ridiculous, because I'm sure it was like 15 when he first debuted. But Tommy gets the victory with a Tommy Hawk and kicks Flex Cavana's butt. because he's cocky and he's leaving. He started all this mess. Steven Regal then arrives on US soil, and he thinks the American fans are even worse than the British fans he usually performs in front of. They're pathetic for cheering for a man like Joe Kazana. Who even are you anyway, he asks. Only gets a 40. Now, if this promo was done in Preston, for example, it probably would have got an 80. But there we go. Hopefully the in-ring performance is a little bit... Yeah, it's okay. That's pretty good. Steven Regal defeats Joe Kazana with a Regalplex. His in-ring performance is only at 53. That is, again, heavily influenced by his lack of popularity. But Joe Kazana's 61 is enough to help drag the match up and gets the overall match rating at a 67. So it's something you can't really complain about when putting in someone who has not got much US popularity. And as mentioned, the Raven and Funk angle gets an 84. Raven's out in the ring once again to call Funk to retire, but Terry's heard enough. He rushes the ring with his head still bandaged up. It's supposed to be 2 weeks later, but he's still bleeding. Ignore it. The Funker returns the favour and drops Raven with a massive chair shot before throwing him around the ringside area and smashing Raven's head into anything and everything he comes across and makes him bleed. 84, you can see where this is heading, can't you? For that, gets a 61 overall, which is not too bad, considering we had Regal main eventing. But it was the right decision looking at the ratings of the show. And generally, that was pretty good, average show. 11 again, regions getting popularity boosts, which is good to see. And then the final episode of TV for this week this night, rather. Let's see who we're going to put in. We're going to have to put... okay, we need the Raven Funk promo at the end. Then Tommy Dreamer against Ray. Dream on Me is the angle name. We've got Booker T getting a match against Flex Kavana, who's extremely unhappy about putting him over, but you should have thought about that before you left. And then we've got 2 more debuts in Ultimo Guerrero and Super Delphine. Yeah, we're good to go there. Right, into it. Ultimo Guerrero and Super Delphine both putting pretty decent performance. Super Delphine with it. Now, see, I've got people winning who... Generally, if I knew who was going to perform well in the matches, I would have had some different results going in. But Ultimo Guerrero gets a good victory over Super Delphine with a Guerrero, which looks spelt wrong for his finisher name. Guerrero Special. His in-ring performance is only a 26, but he's rusty. Super Delphine's is a 46, which is very good, and they've got great chemistry, which helped. Gets this segment rating up to a 39 crowd. Not really into it, but they will get there with this division. We then get Flex Kavana, who is not humbled by his defeat last week, and he starts in on the fans once again. Booker T shuts him up, calls him a sucker, and threatens to kick his ass all the way to Atlanta. Now, that would make more sense if we weren't in Atlanta tonight. Only 936 fans in attendance, actually. I was expecting to be more than 1,000. Anyway, Booker struggled a little bit going off script. Flex didn't, and we got a 71 for the angle. And then the match itself gets a 60 as Booker T puts in a great performance to pin him after a missile dropkick and send Flex Kavana packing. Hopefully we've got a bit of popularity off him, but knowing how good he is, he's probably increased his popularity anyway through 2 defeats. Tommy Dreamer respects Rey Mysterio, but now he has his sights on singles gold after his partner has left him. A win here against former TV champion will put him right in that title picture. Gets a 55, struggled a little bit going off script, but the match itself gets a 73 as Tommy gets the job done and wins with a Tommy Hawk. Again, Ray's still being slowed somewhat by his injury, but it's enough to still put in a solid performance of a 79. 73 for the match itself, and then 83 for the promo afterwards as Terry Funk cuts an impassioned promo about how he's bled before and he'll bleed again. But at Clash of the Titans, he'll do everything to make sure it's Raven that bleeds first. He wants the world title match to be first blood. He won't last long, but it will be the match won't last long, but it will be 2 Titans going to war for the biggest prize in the game. First blood, main event, world title. A 70 for the show rating. All the shows in this block have been excellent. Increase the popularity in 11 regions. We'll check that out. Adam Impact is going to be out for 35 days with his ruptured spleen. So, welcome to the tag team titles. We're going to have to change matches that we've got planned there. Finance report. Only lost 18 grand on the show, which is not bad whatsoever, actually. Spent a lot on workers, but we do that now. So we'll see how we can recoup that with our Preston show at the end of the month. Popularity recap, up to 53 in the southeast, 37 in the mid-south, 42 in the tri-state. Yep, that's some really good popularity boosts going on there. Right, what I'm going to have to do is figure out the tag team title picture that we're going to have to deal with now with our champions out for a month. But we're going to go through. We will be fine. We're only going to miss one show, really. We'll go through the All-Star Wrestling show in Preston. I'll show you the results of that afterwards, and then we'll be ready for our end-of-year show, Clash of the Titans, in a second. It's the beginning of December, but for you, it'll be 5 seconds, maybe less. 1st of December is here, and it's time for Clash of the Titans. And finance-wise for November, 50k profit. That is just ridiculous. Even after doing the production upgrade, I think we're not far off being able to do the music upgrade as well now, which is an extra 70 grand, something like that a month. I mean, a couple months like November, and we'll be turning profit without it. So we'll go from there. Quick look at the All-Star Wrestling show. So Christian Cage defeated Dave Taylor. Obviously, this was going to be a tag match involving Adam Impact and I think Rey Mysterio. But with Impact's injury, Cage is just beating him in a singles match, which is fine. Regal then tells us that he hates the US even more than Preston, and then defeats John Rambo. And for some reason, Regal has lost all his momentum. He's ice cold, and I'm not really sure why. He's been winning the last few matches. But there we go. And then Raven defeated Joe Kazana in the main event and bid goodbye to Joe, who's now left us. And we won't talk about him ever again. So we go from there into tonight's Clash of the Titans pay-per-view. Not pay-per-view. TV show. He said, whatever. Ray's furious with his booking, but he's leaving tomorrow. So who really gives a damn? We start the show with 4,900 people in attendance in the Southeast. For Clash of the Titans, and the Fantastics get a victory over the Public Enemy with a fantastic flip from Bobby Fulton on Rocco Rock. Gets a 48, a little bit disappointing. Fantastics aren't really setting the world on fire with the albeit limited appearances so far. But we've got a void in the tag division that we need to fill, so let's see how they get on. Public Enemy, still underwhelming. Never mind. 48, though, is not a bad start whatsoever. We then go into a match that's obviously been changed a little bit as Angus King replaces Adam Impact. But Super Crazy and the Hardy Brothers defeat The Nest and Buddy Lee Parker when Super Crazy pins Buddy Lee Parker with a crazy bomb. He gets a 41. Jeff Hardy's broken his nose because, of course, Tag Team Curse is back again. Super Crazy did well. Kane with the highest in-ring performance. 41, not too bad. Yeah, Jeff Hardy's broken his nose. Wonderful. To go along with Edge's spleen that ruptured. Steven Regal apparently struggled when going off script. He's here in the US to stay. He's already proven that he's best in the ring and will wrap Rey Mysterio in knots tonight. But he still thinks that American fans are disgusting and can't wait to get out of their presence. Thank you. Only gets a 31. Not quite sure what's going on with Regal. He seems to just be tanking everything. We'll see how he gets on in the ring against Rey Mysterio, which is really good, let's put it that way. 18.5 minutes, Regalplex gets the job done. Hopefully this will improve Regal's popularity because something has to, and a match like that, a 71 performance against an injured Rey Mysterio still drops a 73, is something that will surely improve his popularity. But yeah, we'll see how that goes on. We'll check that after the show because it went down after the TV taping, which is bizarre. But yes, hopefully that'll arrest some of his momentum issues as well. Perry Saturn then beat Larry Cameron to bid him farewell. His contract is up now, so Perry Saturn just gets a nice little solid victory. Gets a 62 rating though, which is not bad in the slightest. Saturn dragging the in-ring work up to that level to sort of just win in a mid-card match there. Tommy Dreamer, man of the people, wants to become TV champion of the people tonight. He's flying solo after Joe Kazana left. I know we said we weren't going to talk about him, but we did. And now he knows he can do it with the support of the fans. So hopefully hopefully he becomes a fan favourite. We're forcing him down everyone's throat as the fans' favourite anyway now. So let's carry on. Hopefully the comment section love Tommy Dreamer. They probably don't as much as Joe Kazana, but let's go. Tommy Dreamer worked the crowd well. Got a 59 for his promo. And then in the match against the Kid, despite Waltman being unhappy with doing the job and being kept strong and still being unhappy, he did the job anyway. And Tommy Dreamer got the victory in 12.5 minutes to become the new television champion. Both men in-ring performance, middling. I say middling, it's still in the 50s, which is really good, but middling. 58 for the segment rating. The TV title is now slowly becoming less important than the world title. Deliberately, in fact. But Tommy Dreamer is now TV champion. Creative finish was a success. And we move on to Raven, who talks about Terry Funk. And he knows he's crazy and will do anything to win. but all it will take is one even flow DDT, and the old man will start bleeding like a stuck pig, and Raven just won't stop at a trickle. He knows Funk wouldn't either. 89 from Raven's pre-match promo, and we go into the main event. I've got high hopes for it because it's a short match, and it's Raven and Funk, first blood. Let's go for it. It gets a 78, not too bad at all. Raven with a 73, Funk with a 69. Creative finish was a success, and Terry Funk bust Raven open with a pile driver in 12 minutes to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Raven's reign ends at, I think, 426 days. I mean, we'll check, but I think that was the right number. And Terry Funk is the new World Champion, and afterwards he's done it. He thanks the fans for their support. He's only in this ring because of them. He loves wrestling more than life itself, and he knows he doesn't have long left in the ring, probably longer than he thinks, but he'll defend this title the only way he knows how. He'll keep kicking ass until someone else comes along and kicks his. Great finish to the Funk story, and it gets a 69 overall for the show, which is nice. We use Steven Regal too much, and our music, our broadcast quality, not our music. We've upgraded the music, haven't we? The broadcast quality slightly pinged us, but still, that's really good. The end run of ratings was enough to drag the show up to 69, not quite to 70, but that is good enough for me. Terry Funk can get a load of praise, Raven can also get a load of praise, and so can Mr. Regal, who we are hopefully going to try and push. Raven's very happy, Regal's pleased. Injury review, Jeff Hardy's only out for a week with his broken nose, so that's fine, he can work through it anyway. Finance report made 72,778 profit on the show, which is slightly ridiculous, I'll be honest. 15k spent on workers is not much at all, but there we go. Wonderful. Popularity recap, up. Well, not up where actually in the southeast, only at 53 still. We need to improve that and get it up there, but we are ticking up every other region, which is good. Even up nearly to 20 in a couple more Canadian regions as well, in Quebec and Ontario, but we'll go forward from there. Right, what I want to do now is check Regal's popularity status and see whether he's actually gone up after Rey Mysterio went out looking at the lights. He's gone now. This is his last day. He's joined Joe Kazana in elsewhere. Although, interestingly enough, Rey Mysterio did have an offer from WCW, so he may only be exclusive with WWC for about a week. So there we go for him. We'll see what happens. Anyway, Larry Cameron's gone. Rey Mysterio's fully fit, and he's also gone. He's had a contract offer from USWA. He's unable. He doesn't want to negotiate with us. He has got offers elsewhere, so we can't really see anyway. So he's left. He's left APW. Vader, we were trying to sneak in with a Vader bid, but WWF, lots of places in Japan are all bidding for him as well. We were trying to just get him for a month, but I think he's probably going to go elsewhere. Jeff Hardy injured, as we mentioned. Clash of the Titans was seen by 131,000, and Tito Santana reckons Christian Cage is going to be a star. Oh, yes, I think he will be too at some point. Right, let's quickly look at, not that page, this page here. Where's Steven Regal? Let's hope his popularity's up. No, it's not. What's going on? He's literally barely moved with a victory over Rey Mysterio. What is that all about? He's literally gone down in his popularity. He can't have hit a cap already, can he? Like, this doesn't make any sense. He's just beat Rey Mysterio, who's got high, well, I think probably still in the high 40s, if not 50, popularity everywhere. And Regal just hasn't budged at all. 19 in the southeast, which was down. Maybe we can't push Regal. Maybe that's the thing. You just can't get him over, which will be great. Tommy Dreamer, on the other hand, is now up to nearly 50 everywhere, which is good. He's just skyrocketed the last couple of months from those last couple of victories. It's how the victory over Rey Mysterio really helped him, so that's good. Yeah, Raven still up there. Obviously, he's got a little bit lower after the loss to Funk, but not really much at all. So you can't complain there. And Funk himself is just the most over person in the company. So he's gone. In fact, no, he hasn't changed at all from his victory over Raven. So it's good to know. Right, we'll probably need to bring Rob Van Dam back into rotation because he's not wrestled for a little while after losing at Collision Course. So we'll In fact, no, was he at King of... No, he lost in the King of Combat, didn't he? Yeah, so there we go. Right, we've got TV taping in 4 days' time. This is the new situation on the championship front. Heavyweight champions Terry Funk. TV champion is Tommy Dreamer. Tag team champions Edge and Christian. Junior heavyweight champion Super Crazy. And obviously the King of Combat was eventually awarded to Terry Funk, even though we forgot to give it to him in the Battle Royal. But he's cashed it in and won the world title. Right, we'll be back with the TV taping in a few days. And until then, you can just watch this little static screen. So, there you go. Thanks. Alright then, here we go with the next batch of Unleashed, and this is one I've had to rewrite on the fly a little bit because I didn't notice that both Terry Funk and Taka Michinoku were working with Wing today, so they're not here, and they were both featured quite heavily on all 4 episodes. So I've had to go back and rewrite them as I got to the show. And obviously that was after I sent everyone home, so it's been a little bit difficult to rewrite, but we figured it out. So we'll get into things to start things off. On episode 93 at the Townsend Livestock Pavilion Arena, we get a 4-way bout between Super Delphine, Angel Azteca, Shiryu, and Juventud Guerrera, basically the 4 guys who lost in the first round. This is to replace Taka in the semi-finals, because he's not going to be here for this taping, which is when the semi-finals and finals are being held. So this is a wildcard catch-up bout to fill in the gap, and it's won by Super Delphine, who puts in the best performance, because he put in the best performance of the losers in the first round with the 45, and the match got a 43, and we move on, and I need to make sure I add that to the tournament after the show. TV champion Tommy Dreamer wants to be a fighting champion, so he opens the door to any challenges for his first title defence tonight, and was poor when trying to improvise his dialogue, and only got to 48, and, well, he loses. Because he's going to WCW. Another one bites the dust. Angus King defeats Tommy Dreamer with a chokeslam to win his second TV title. And I'm disappointed that it's come to this, but Kane is a steady hand, and he's now TV champion once again. It got a 63, and Dreamer was not impressed in the slightest at having to do the job, but he has done. So we've lost him. Rey Mysterio also signed for WCW a week after leaving to go exclusive to WWC. So there you go. Everyone's going to WCW. We're basically their development. Which reminds me, we're a development company for a Mexican company, and they've not sent us anyone. Anyway, Rob Van Dam is back, and he isn't done with the nest. Tonight he's going to kick Christian Cage's ass, but he really wants Raven, and he struggled going off script, but still gave us a 65 rating. And I'll be honest, this was supposed to be Terry Funk, but he's not here. So Van Dam beats Christian Cage in 13 minutes with a 5-star frog splash, and Christian was off his game, but he still put in an okay performance at a 30. Obviously, Adam Impact Edge is still injured, so he'll be back, well, between now and the next show. I guess a 62 overall rating for the match, which is not too bad. It's the main event. It's a little bit weak. But Van Dam is victorious, and Raven decides to join in with a giant man who's soon identified as Jeep Swenson, and he attacks RVD with a Jeep running over him like a Jeep. Simple. We've got a new member of the Nest. It's a big guy. Debuts a monster gimmick. Very good of him. Yes, 68. A little bit surprised it wasn't a little bit higher, actually, but still, very good. Very good stuff. Close the show. A little bit disappointing, only gets a 59, but that's kind of because we've had to rewrite things a little bit. But we'll get there. We'll see. Still do something decent with this. RVD and Raven got into an argument. Wonderful. Just exactly what you want to see. Right, as we go through to the next, we're going to... How do we manage? We want to replace Taka with Super Delphine. Here. Replace him. There we go. So now he's in the semi-final against Flamante Turbo as Negro Azteca takes on Ultimo Guerrero. Which is a shame, because Taka was probably going to... Well, yes, he was booked to win it, and then I realised he wasn't here. But never mind. Right, let's see how we get on with this one. We're going to have a slightly rewritten main event. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. But, well, we're committed to it now, aren't we? So let's go forth and do it. We've got not Booker T, Stevie Ray challenging Kane for the TV title, and we've got that first semi-final there. Negro Azteca against Ultimo Guerrero in the opener, which is disappointing. They're both rusty. Poor way to start the show. Cooled the crowd. They're disinterested. This doesn't happen very often, but it does happen more often than you'd expect. Disinterested. Crowd did not care about this match in the slightest, and it only got a 27. I've made some mistakes by putting these people into the semi-finals because Ultimo Guerrero's won, and he only gave us an 18 in-ring performance, which is disappointing. Hopefully we've not booked him to win the final. 27 is okay for the match. Apparently he can't handle calling things in the ring. We should probably note that. Angus King told us he was a monster a few weeks ago, and last week he proved it. Bring on his second reign as TV champion. The Nest is stronger than ever, and he gets a 51 for his promo. Did well going off script. But he faces Stevie Ray tonight, who loses thanks to a chokeslam. Good long match, though. Both guys putting in 50s for their in-ring performance. First defense of the title for Angus King gets a 56, and I'm hoping that Van Dam can get a good main event out of Jeep Swenson, because the show's not doing very well otherwise. RVD tells Raven to keep rolling out the big doofuses if he's got any more, because Van Dam will kick Jeep to the curb. Disappointing. Yep, 63, not great. Van Dam beats Jeep Swenson in 6 minutes. Exceptional match, apparently, but only gets a 63. 70 in-ring performance from Van Dam, 58 from Swenson. 5-star prog splash, neuters the new bad guy straight away. 63. Raven and Jeep don't care about the result, though. They swarm the ring and beat down RVD after the bell, but the Ebony Experience rush the ring and make the save. So Booker and Stevie, obviously Stevie's just fought another member of the Nest, Angus King. So that sets up next week's show, would you believe? 66 for the end of the show. Angle, and we're still okay. 59 is not too bad. We should still be okay going forward. Any locker room at Jeep Swenson, Dutch Mantel, blazing argument, wonderful. Raven's remarked, several people about Raven and Ultimo Guerrero. That's only good for Ultimo Guerrero, surely. Let's move on to episode 3 of the taping, number 95. We're nearly on 100 episodes of Unleashed. That's ridiculous. Let's see what we can do for episode number 95. The main event is going to have a big brawl afterwards. So that's that. I forgot Terry Funk's. No, it's not supposed to be Terry Funk. I forgot to rewrite this one. And the Experience. And we've got to have King in there as well. There we go. So we need to get rid of Terry Funk from the Angle and then add Booker, Stevie Ray. This is why I don't do angles on the fly very often. And Angus King, wherever he is. Not me. There we go. They're all fighting. Wonderful. Big brawl. Yeah, I know. It's not. It's not. So then we have... Oh, it's going to annoy me that that's there now. Then the 6-man tag main event. Jeep Swenson's furious. Okay. Don't care. Ebony Experience have got RVD's back. Then we've got Steven Regal against Tommy Dreamer, who's not going to be very happy at losing, that's for sure. But you should have thought about that before accepting the WCW offer. You should have thought about that, really, shouldn't you? Yes, you should. Right, we are ready to go with episode 95, which sees Super Delphine get the victory against Flamante Turbo in the opening contest. The Delphine clutch is enough to get the submission. And yeah, he moves on to final, where he'll face whoever just won the last one, Ultimo Guerrero. 46 in-ring performance. Super Delphine's got what it takes to be a good member of this roster. Flamante Turbo's a little bit rusty still. He'll get better. 38 for the segment rating. Hopefully, I need to check, obviously, after this taping, how the junior heavyweight division is doing in terms of popularity. Steven Regal then comes out and threatens Tommy Dreamer to send him packing, just like he did with Rey Mysterio. He's better than everyone in America, especially these people. Only gets the 32. I don't understand what's happening with Regal. He's just not getting over. Victory against Tommy Dreamer with the Regal stretch. 47 for his in-ring performance. Dreamer's 52. If this doesn't get Regal some popularity, I don't know what will. Segment rating at 55. It's not working out for his push so far. The Ebony Experience join RVD and tell them that they've both seen enough of the Nest and they've got his back tonight and every night that he needs it. All three men do. I mean, Booker does well. The other two don't, and he gets a 57. TV taping's going a little bit off the rails. Main event, though, is a good, solid 6-man tag. Flo was hurt a little bit because Jeep Swenson was just limited involvement because he's knackered. He's got 1 stamina. So, RVD pins him though after a 5-star frog splash, and him and the Ebony Experience defeat the Nest. Gets a 66, which is okay actually. I was expecting worse. After the match, all 6 men don't care that the bells run and keep fighting as the show goes off the air. 62, Raven was fantastic. 57, we're getting a little bit lower with our ratings on this TV taping. Only 10 regions got a popularity boost. Let's see how we do on the final one. Any locker room incidents? No. Good. Right. Let's go into... We need to remember that needs to not be there anymore. Main event is Stevie... No. Not Stevie. Booker T and Angus King is the main event. And we got to have Sucker's Got to Know. I don't actually know if I'm using that in the correct way because I'm not Booker T, so I don't know whether I'm using it right or not. Anyway, we'll go with that. A Raven, a promo, and then... see, I forgot to change the booking here as well. So Crazy is not... It's Delphine who wins this. Sorry. I mean, it's still a super crazy promo, but that's the wrong person he's talking to. Okay. That can be added... Oh, have I added... Yes, I've added that in. Right, and then this needs to be modified... It's not Taka because he's not here. It's Super Delphine who also will get the victory. Anyway, yes. Excellent. Ultimo Guerrero can't call in the ring though, so we go for scripted because I remember how things work. Fine. Add to booking sheet. That one. Excellent. Job done. Right. We are ready. I think we're for some reason a minute short. I mean... Yeah, let's go. Let's go with 16 minutes. Make it slow build as well, and we can possibly pull a minute off here or 2. That gets us to 60. Right, let's go for the final episode of the taping. Final episode of the year as well. Super Delphine defeats Ultimo Guerrero with the Delphine clutch, and they've got great chemistry. Now, did these guys face in the first round? I can't remember. It's a little while ago. But to get a 50 rating, I did see there was some good chemistry note for one of the first round matches. It could have been this one. Maybe I've done a masterstroke by pulling it out again. But Super Delphine wins the tournament and gets a title shot at Glory Road against Super Crazy, who congratulates him on his victory, and he's looking forward to putting the title on the line. Didn't do very well with that script though, 33. A little bit of a letdown, but we move on to Raven, who is not a letdown, who tells RVD that he doesn't understand the mistake that he made by getting back involved in Raven's business. They were done after their 3rd cage match, but if Van Dam wants more punishment, he can certainly have it. An 81 angle for Mr. Raven there. And we go into a Stevie Ray against Jeep Swenson match, and they had very poor chemistry. Awkward bout. Knockout hook gets the job done for Swenson, who pulls back a little bit of his momentum after losing his first 2 matches. But he shows a little bit of a force as he takes on Stevie Ray. And then we go into the main event, as Booker T didn't like what Angus King did to his brother 2 weeks ago, so he lays down the challenge here tonight for the TV title because Sucker's got to know. Now, if I'm not using that turn of phrase correctly, which I'm probably not, let's be fair, I'm very white. Let me know in the comments if you even have a clue what I'm trying to say here. I don't. 55, main event time, gets to 65, and Booker T becomes the new TV champion. We've switched it that quickly. One night reign for Angus King. It's like he's World WF champion all over again. But Booker T is now the new television champion in hang on. In some way, I can't remember. I can't think what the word I'm trying to say is. Unorthodox. In an unorthodox manner, Booker T is now the TV champion. So we started the episode with the Kid being TV champion, and now we're on the 4th champion of the single episode. So there we go. That's the kind of world we're in at the moment. Gets a 56 overall. A little bit disappointing. Needs more Raven, I think, is basically the answer there. Crowd disappointing. Oh, I forgot to add a storytelling aim. That's a shame. Never mind. We'll be fine. Tickets. We're up to 12 grand. Sorry, down to 13 grand loss now. It was 20 a couple of tapings ago. So that's good. Popularity recap. We're up to 54 in the southeast. Everywhere else is ticking up nicely. We're not far away from medium at all now. I think we'll hit medium by the time we need to renew our broadcasting deals in March or April, whichever one it is. We've done well. That's excellent. I mean, we struggled our way through that TV taping, let's be honest. It was a little bit difficult. But we do have a plan forward. Terry Funk is our champion. We'll have to do something with him and involving Raven's slightly larger nest now. I don't think Jeep Swenson's on a particularly long deal with us, and he's not very good in the ring because he's only got 1 stamina. So he can't really have long matches, but he's serviceable. Let's put it that way. We didn't sign Vader, by the way. I'm pretty sure he's gone to the WWF. Tommy Dreamer's had a rival bid. I mean, WCW is the only offer that's being seriously considered, so there's nothing I can do here. The NAWA have also offered him a deal, but I mean, he's not going to choose you or me over WCW, is he? He's not gone officially yet. But Jeep Swenson's gone, apparently. Okay, I forgot. Maybe I don't give him 3 appearances on his contract. Maybe that was it. Ah, he's come and gone. Did we tank his popularity, or did it last exactly? It's gone down a little bit. A few popularity points, fine. We can always bring him back again in the future. And Bruce Bedlam's gone as well. He was one of the guys who came from River City Wrestling when we bought them out a few months ago. Right, let's do a check of everything, basically. We're just going to scoot down a few people here. So Steven Regal cannot get over. What is that all about? Now, you're going to tell me it's because of his poor momentum, but I can't get his momentum up for some reason. It's just gone to the floor and will not move. I don't understand what is going on with him. I've given him creative ideas. Half of the really simple ones didn't work. But, okay, I don't really understand. Booker T's getting nice and popular. Angus King's little reign as TV champion's not done him any harm at all. Stevie Ray, he's now well and truly behind Booker T in terms of the popularity streak. Raven's still our best guy, really. Terry Funk, obviously, is definitely one of our most popular. He's a little bit more popular than Raven, isn't he? And he's the world champion, but he's old, so there's that. Let's quickly look at, well, it's termed here Cruiserweight Division, because I can't figure out how to rename them, and see how we're getting on in terms of popularity. A few guys are getting into double digits in some regions. Super Crazy's still far and away the most popular guy. Super Delphine is up to 19 in a couple of places. Taka did well in his 1 match. He started out at 6s, he's now 10s, but he's apparently working in Japan when we need him, so that was useful. And Ultima Guerrero actually did quite well as well, so there's that one. We'll see how we get on with Super Delphine against Super Crazy. Yeah, let's double check the calendar for clashes. So All Star Wrestling is there. We're not going to worry about that. We've got another TV taping before Glory Road. That's unfortunate. And Terry Funk and Taka are missing that, and Super Delphine is missing Glory Road. So we can't win. We cannot win. So we'll have to have him have his junior title match on that Unleashed taping there. And we'll figure out a way to get Taka into a title match against Super Crazy, because they're our 2 most over guys, pretty much, in the division. Super Crazy is going to carry it for a while. That's that. Right, we'll jump forward to the end of the month, or the end of the year. I'll run the All-Star show, and then we'll come back on January 1st. I'll take a copy of the save game for those Patreon members. Tommy Dream is very angry, by the way, because he had to job. Well, I'm sorry, but you want to leave me, so what do you expect? And we'll do the recap of finances for the month and the year. So I'll be back in a second as we do the end of year wrap up, go through awards and everything like that. Let's do it. Welcome to 1997, and here we go then. Wrestler of the Year, El Dandy. Who was I to doubt him? Well, a very silly man. So what we could do is we'll go through the awards, the company awards, the finances for the end of the month and the end of the year, and then we'll go forward a couple of days and do the final TV taping of the episode, and we'll end it just before we get to Glory Road. So, El Dandy wins Wrestler of the Year. Akira Hokuto wins the Female Wrestler of the Year as well. New Japan, the same tag team from CMLL, and probably again their match of the year is El Dandy losing at Super Viennas. That's a Friday show back in March. Show of the year was Summer Struggle from New Japan. None of these are anything to do with any of us. We got the most improved company of the year. Excellent stuff. Did we do that last year? Was that us last year as well? I can't remember. Most improved. Yes, it is. It's the second year in a row we've won Most Improved Company. Male Independent Wrestler of the Year goes to Raven. Well done to him. Akira Hokuto getting Female Wrestler of the Year. And nothing else to note from us. So we'll go into our end of year awards. And unsurprisingly, Raven gets the Wrestler of the Year for the second time. Spent most of it as World Champion. Tag Team of the Year, Traitor Yokozuna and Traitor Tommy Dreamer. That does surprise me a little bit, but I'm surprised it wasn't the Eliminators, honestly. But well done to both of them. Male Young Wrestler of the Year, Rey Mysterio, also another traitor, wins that one. Jerry Lawler gets Veteran of the Year. A little bit surprised it wasn't Terry Funk, but I guess Lawler was here for a little bit longer. Match of the Year is Raven and Jericho from Doomsday. I think that was all the way back in June, or maybe somewhere like that. Card of the Year was Endgame, got a 75. Match of the Year got an 88, by the way. So we are improving year on year. Male Manager of the Year was Dutch Mantel, even though he didn't manage anyone. Maranello gets play commentator, Dutch Mantel colour commentator, Mark Curtis referee. We've only got one of all of those. That's what we expect. Finance-wise, we made $75,000 last month, which is slightly ridiculous, I'll be honest. But we are making money hand over fist, and we could potentially do that extra production wherever the production button's gone. Why can't I see it? There it is. So the broadcast quality is currently $7,500. If we upgrade, it goes to 75, which we can probably just about afford. But I mean, it seems a little bit ridiculous to be getting that much broadcast quality at this stage. Merchandising, we're up to 80% now. Won't be long until we finish that one off. Another 5 weeks. So by the time we get to sort of mid-February, we can probably look to upgrade again, but merchandise costs are... merchandising is going to be something we need to keep growing. And yeah, generally, finances, fantastic. Ticket sales up to 150k. So we're just making money. Yeah, excellent. That's a good sign. Another quick recap of the championship situation going into the year. Super Crazy's Junior Heavyweight Champion. Heavyweight Champion is Terry Funk. World Tag Team Champions are the Suicide Blondes. TV Champion is now Booker T. I think we've mentioned everything. No, we haven't. So Tommy Dreamer is officially going to WCW. He leaves in 11 days. Tracy Smothers has joined and is leaving to go to the WWF in 2 weeks. So that's good. John Cronus is also off to the WWF in just under 3 weeks. And Terry Gordy has joined, and he's also going to go to All Japan permanently, which is just ridiculous. He's not even going to actually get a chance to wrestle because he's away in Japan already for this show and Glory Road, and then we'll be gone before we get to our next show. So excellent choice there to join us and then leave again. So more people being signed up by bigger promotions. Excellent. So what I'm going to say now is I'm going to plug the Patreon. So if you join over at the Patreon for the top 2 tiers, the main event and the Tribal Chief tier, you can download this save game file and play from here. You can also play from the beginning of 96, 95, 94. I don't think you can play from 93, but you can play from 1992 at the beginning if you wanted to do so and rewrite the whole history. All the graphics, I believe, apart from maybe the Junior Heavyweight title, I'm not sure if the TV title's on there or not, they can be downloaded as well from the Patreon if you join at those tiers. Rey Mysterio has left WWC to go to the WCW. We also won the regional battle, by the way. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, so if you join over on the Patreon, you can sign up at one of those tiers and get access to the save game files. There's also the save game files for the WCW 2000, and any monetary support helps me out to keep making great videos. I hope you think they're great, at least anyway. That's my little plug. Obviously, like and subscribe. We'll go and do the TV taping now, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, into the first episode of the block of taping, and it's good to point out that Terry Gordon isn't actually in Japan, so we've kept him for the night. So he's been subbed into a couple of matches later in the booking block, but we'll go through episode number 97, and I can't believe we're nearly at 100, as Rex King arrives in SPW and vows to make his impact in the singles division. He's the veteran who's best known for his tag team runs. I say best known. Moderately known for his tag team runs. Gets a 41 for his debut promo, which is not too bad, really, all things considered, and gets an adequate rating for his gimmick. And then he goes off and beats John Cronus in the ring, who's phoned in his performance, playing it safe because he's off to the WWF, and he's very professional, clearly. 49 for the match rating. Rex King gets a 46, which I can't really grumble at all. Not a bad debut for him. Tommy Dreamer has been up and down and all over town, losing the tag titles and his tag partner, winning and losing the TV title, going to WCW. And he needs a new partner to challenge the Suicide Blondes, but he faces Christian tonight in singles action. He enjoys going off script and gets a 51 for the angle, which is not bad. And then the match against Christian is a little bit subpar. Christian was off his game slightly. And Tommy doesn't apparently have enough in him to drag the performance up. So it gets a 44, which is okay, but Christian gets the victory, and the push for Edge and Christian continues. He'll get some nice popularity boost there from beating Tommy Dreamer. We move on to just before the main event as Steven Regal only gets a 39, but he's pissed off that Rob Van Dam thinks he is superior when it's clear to see that Regal is in every sense. He couldn't care less about RVD's issues with Raven. He's going to stretch him out and make him submit tonight in the main event, but he doesn't, and the match gets a 78. Excellent stuff. Spinning heel kick from RVD gets the job done in 16 minutes. I'm really, really hoping that Steven Regal can get over after another match, getting a 78 rating. He's been used too much. Broadcast quality has brought us down a little bit, but gets a 63 overall for the show. Locker room instance, I didn't mean to mention, actually, that Tim Horner is going to debut with us tonight, and he's already fighting backstage. I didn't spot that he was a bully, so he won't be here lasting long. Quick things to note. We have got a few creative ideas that we need to use. A character idea for Terry Funk that I'm just going to drop on him now, even though he's not here. Nice success. I'm tempted for using one on Adam Impact and Christian Cage because I've got a likely to succeed and a near certainty. So I'm going to drop those here now, and hopefully they are a success. Well, that one's a success. Will this one be a success? The near certainty? Yes, it is. I also want to point out for Steven Regal, if we look at his morale, we've tried 4, make that 5, so 6, sorry, over the last couple of weeks, character ideas. 4 were unsuccessful, 2 were successful. So there we go. His popularity is just still not taking up. Maybe we just need to get his momentum going. We're going to try, we just keep chucking on creative ideas. They're a bit of a gamble. That's a success. He's got very cold momentum now. How about this one? Failure, back down to ice cold. Okay, it's like gambling, isn't it? Oh well, he'll get over at some point, I'm sure. Right, on to the second show of the taping. It's confusing because we're now up to show 100 in a second. So we're going to have Raven defeating Tim Horner in the main event. That's Tim Horner who's making his debut. Obviously, we've mentioned he is already a pain backstage, so he won't be hanging around for too long. We'll go with this angle here, that angle there. Oh, we've made... Yep, sorry, Tracy Smothers, I don't care. I put that angle and match in the wrong order, but we'll soon change that around in a second. So we've got the title match for the junior title. I couldn't think what the title was named then. And then Tracy Smothers making his debut against Edge, and then Raven against Tim Horner in the main event. Tracy Smothers unhappy that he's jobbing, but he also joined us and then leaving again within a month. So I've got no sympathy for him. Super Crazy defends his junior heavyweight title for the 5th time, actually, with a good victory over Super Delphine. Both men with a mid-40s in-ring performance. Gets a 48 overall, and Super Delphine is definitely one of the highlights of the junior division. We have also signed Psychosis to join us as well in that junior division, which takes us up to 10, I believe. But Taka Michinoku is here. He was in the tournament, but then obviously got subbed out because he was away in Japan. But he has arrived behind Super Crazy and attacked him from behind, hits the Michinoku driver and signals that he wants the junior title at Glory Road. Gets a 36. Obviously, Taka's not got any popularity, or very little popularity. I can't look at his profile here. I think he's like 6s and maybe up to 10. I can't remember if he got up a little boost from his victory on TV a couple of months ago. But we're going to get him over. He might be the one to defeat Super Crazy. Tracy Smothers debuts and announces that he'll be teaming with Tommy Dreamer to face the Suicide Blondes, and he's starting with a match against Adam Impact in singles action tonight, and he loses. He puts in a good performance, though. Obviously, I would have liked to have given Tracy Smothers a good push. But he's sodding off to the WWF already, so I've got no sympathy for him complaining. Gets a 52, and Adam Impact with a very big victory after a downward spiral. Edge and Christian getting over, hopefully. Raven with a 90 with his promo before this match, which is just excellent. He talks about his opponent tonight, Tim Horner, making his TV debut. Unfortunately, it comes at a time when Raven is pissed off and angry about the world title, about Terry Funk, about RVD. So Tim Horner's going to be a sacrifice tonight. A 90 rating is fantastic. And then the match itself gets a 71. Tim Horner has a very good debut with his gimmick, and his in-ring performance is in the 50s as well. But the fact I didn't spot, I'm pretty sure I turned off the no negative backstage influencers when I did my search. But clearly I missed it because he's a bully. So he's not going to be around for very long. We're going to job him out, which is a shame because I'd like some extra bodies at the top of the card. It's particularly decent ones as well, 56. That's a good in-ring performance. But Raven gets the victory with a 71 match rating, 63 again overall for the show. And we move on to episode number 3 of the night. RVD and Taka butting heads backstage. Not ideal, but nothing to really worry about there. We will go on to show 99. I haven't got anything big planned for Unleashed 100. It's not like Dynamite and Collision, which has just happened. I think Dynamite's happened, and Collision might be happening tonight when this goes onto YouTube. So, timely, I think, is what I'm looking for. I've not anything massively planned. It's the 4th episode of a block of taping, so yeah, there's that. Terry Gordy is facing Booker T, and he's furious about losing. But again, you've joined us and then decided to sign an exclusive contract within a few weeks. Not even that of joining us. So, I can't really do much about it. I've got to use you at some point. We start with Christian Cage defeating Tracy Smothers in the opener. We've got a straight, cold open straight into a match. Tracy's in-ring performance at 42 again. Christian at 35. He's not off his game this time. Only gets a 43, and the crowd are simmering. We should have started with a hot angle, but that's okay. Booker T is then looking to make his first defense of his first singles gold. He takes on former tag specialist from Japan, Terry Gordy, and he promises a win and asks Bam Bam if he can dig it, sucker. I mean, can he? Don't know, 53 for the promo, and the match gets a 65, and I'm really annoyed because Terry Gordy would have been a good addition to the roster. But Booker's missile dropkick is enough to get the job done and to make his first defense of the TV title. I know Booker being TV champions was something that's been asked about in the comments and suggested in the comments several times, so now you've got it. 65 for that one is great. RVD and then struggled a little bit going off script, and he's annoyed that he's still stuck mired battling the nest. I mean, it's his own fault as he takes on Angus King tonight, but he needs to do this to get his hands on Raven one more time. And the main event gets... Now that's an angle Did I press the button twice? I pressed the button twice. The main event happened, or maybe I forgot to book it, who knows, but RVD gets the win over Angus King in about 16 minutes. I don't know what the rating is until I click onto the next page, but Raven uses the distraction to make his attack, and he drops RVD with an even flow DDT and leaves him down and out as the show closes. The match got a 75, so there we go. I can't see anything else other than that, but take my word for it, RVD probably got in the high 70s, low 80s, and Angus King was probably in the 60s, maybe 50s for his in-ring performance. 71 for the show rating, another increased popularity in 11 regions, and we go into our final taping of the night. Tak has been influenced by Raven backstage, as possibly a good thing, probably a good thing, likely a good thing, let's be fair. Let's go. Episode number 100 is going to have RVD repaying the favour on Raven after his main event, and then we're going to have that promo beforehand. Terry Gordy's going to be annoyed about losing to Stevie Ray. Yep, furious, I know, I'm sorry, but that's just what happens when you join and then leave again. That's the only note to point out. But episode number 100, we're at the Townsend Livestock Pavilion Arena again, 1,095 in attendance, and we start with Tommy Dreamer losing to a downward spiral from Adam Impact, gets a 50, and Impact's in-ring performance is now up to 42. They have great chemistry, which is a real shame, because, I mean, we could have used that in the future, but never mind. 50 rating for this one. We move into a promo from Edge and Christian. I think this might be the first time they've had a promo, and Christian Cage was superb Maybe it's not the first time. I think I've seen that note before. But a very good promo all the same. With victory tonight and all of the singles victories over the last few weeks, Impact and Cage mock Tommy Dreamer and his new partner, Tracy Smothers, and they'll happily beat them again with their tag team titles on the line. 61 is definitely going to help them get over. Terry Gordy then loses to Stevie Ray with a 110th Street Slam. 55 for the match. Stevie just edges the in-ring performance there. Then we get a Raven promo, and he talks about facing another newcomer tonight, Rex King. He may have won his debut, but Raven is a class above and will make King look just as weak as RVD tonight. And I don't skip the main event because I didn't click it twice. Raven beats Rex King in 16 minutes, even flow DDT. 65 for the segment rating. Raven's in-ring performance at 46, and you mirror it to get Rex King's at 64 and 46. I read the wrong one, but never mind. Moving on to the post. That's a shame. The post-match angle as a carbon copy of last week. RVD strikes after the bell and lays out Raven with a huge 5-star frog splash to end episode number 100 of Unleashed. 64. Gets to 64 overall. Nice, solid end to the taping block. We cannot complain there at all. And again, just over 12 grand lost on the night is really good, particularly when you consider we spent quite a bit of money on the likes of Terry Gordy, who's not going to be here very long. Up to 39 in the Mid-South, 44 in Tri-State, 30 in the Southwest, 25 Puerto Rico. Everywhere else has gone up in the US, but not enough to make a difference overall to the number of the popularity point number. That one. Excellent. That's the TV taping done, and the episode is pretty much going the same way as well. So we've got Glory Road coming up, which will be the beginning of the next episode, which will be with us on Wednesday, if my days are correct. And that will feature some combination of RVD, Raven, and maybe even Terry Funk in the main event. Maybe we'll do a 3-way dance. How about that? And we've also got Super Crazy taking on Taka Michinoku, Suicide Blondes against Dreamer and Smothers, and all sorts of other fun going on as we go through into 1997. So we'll end it with a recap of the champions. 141 days into the reign of Super Crazy, the first junior heavyweight champion. Terry Funk is our world heavyweight champion. 34 days going there for him. He's made one defense so far, but then he's been in Japan a bit too much. Tag champs are Edge and Christian. They've made no defenses just yet because Edge got injured. 57 days into their reign, but they have faced their next challengers quite frequently in singles action, so kind of count as defenses, I guess. And TV champion is Booker T, who's had one defense so far in his 29-day reign. So we're all quite short, really, for our reigns so far. After Raven's mammoth reign of 427 days was ended, it's 141 for Super Crazy's our longest reign. So there we go. It's Glory Road up next in just one day. Yeah, Sunday the 5th of January. Terry Funk is available, so he will be at least defending the title, if not in a 3-way with RVD and Raven. We'll see if we can shoehorn that in together, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like the video, share it, go and tell other people to subscribe as well. Check out the Patreon if you're interested in that kind of thing. No pressure if not. And I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you remember to watch Nitro on Monday. And I think we've got Millennium Final this week as well, so we're off to Germany in the WCW 2000 save, which will be very fun, I'm sure. But thanks again for watching Local to Global. I will see you on the next episode as we continue 1997.